good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Debate on the no confidence motion by the JVP against the government commences in Parliament. Macroeconomic fundamentals are in a favourable position and the fourth quarter growth would be positive, says Central Bank Governor. News in detail. The motion of no confidence presented by the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna against the government was debated in Parliament today. The debate commenced with JVP leader Anika Premadassa's address to the House this morning. The ruling party in the Parliament, United National Party, stated that they would work to defeat the no-confidence motion brought by the JVP. JVP leader Anika Premadasa noted that he will prove that the government has no right to govern the country. The motion claims that the government failed to take proper action despite the fact that proper information made available regarding suicide terrorist attacks that occurred in Colombo, Negombo and Batticaloa areas on Easter Sunday. Speaking on behalf of the joint opposition parliamentarian Susil Premadasa said that they will vote in support of the no-confidence motion. The motion also proposed that the parliament resolves that it has further lost confidence in Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Cabinet of Ministers and government of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Reliable sources also reveal that the United People's Freedom Alliance will decide at a meeting tonight how to vote at the end of the debate tomorrow. Nevertheless, the government is confident that they will defeat the no-confidence motion. President Maithripala Sirisena took measures yesterday to set up a National Security Advisory Board to look into the matters related to the national security. Meanwhile, the President's media division also announced that the President left for the United Kingdom last evening on a private visit to attend the graduation ceremony of his son. President Maithripala Sirisena, in his capacity as the head of the state, yesterday appointed National Security Advisory Board to look into the matters related to the national security and the safety of the citizens. Parliamentarian Dr. Sarath Amunugama functions as the chairman of this board, while President's counsels Kalinga Indrathissa, Nigel Hatch, attorneys at law Javid Yusuf, Dr. Ram Manik Kalingam, Dr. Suren Raghavan are the other members. Board is expected and entrusted to strengthen the process undertaken to ensure the national security by expressing its views and suggestions in an independent manner, President Sirisena told the board members yesterday when the board was convened for the first time at the official residence of the President. Addressing the National Exporters CEO Forum held yesterday in Colombo, Central Bank Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy underscored that country's macroeconomic fundamentals are in favourable position and the fourth quarter growth would be positive. Furthermore, discussing of the prevalent security situation and business confidence in the country, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy highlighted that Sri Lanka managed the economic fundamentals fairly well after the recent attacks and the security forces did a remarkable job in containing the situation. Governor also added that the International Monetary Fund's approval to the report on the fifth review of the extended fund facility for Sri Lanka is a major prospect for the proving that the macroeconomic fundamentals of Sri Lanka are improving. Moreover, noticing that in March, Sri Lanka sold $1 billion in 5-year bonds at 6.85% and $1.4 billion of 10-year bonds at 7.85%, indicating a spread of about 441 basis points above US Treasuries for 5 years and 521 basis points for 10 years. Dr. Kumaraswamy elucidated that creditors and investors continue to have confidence in Sri Lanka's economy. The Ministry of Highways says that the construction of the Central Expressway from Meerigama to Kurunegala will be completed by December this year. The project officials also stated that 75% of the construction work has been completed. The Central Expressway project has been divided into 4 stages. From Kadawatha to Meerigama, 37 kilometers, Meerigama to Kurunegala, 39.28 kilometers, Pothuhara to Galagedara, 32.5 kilometers, and Kurunegala to Dambulla, 60.3 kilometers. Of the 4 sections, construction work of the second stages of Meerigama to Kurunegala with 5 new access roads commenced on the 16th of January 2017 by 4 local construction companies. The Central Expressway is also expected to improve accessibility between capital Colombo and northern, north central, eastern and central provinces, and once opened, the time to travel the 39 kilometers section will take 20 minutes. In June last year, approval of the Cabinet of Ministers was granted to enter into a loan agreement between the Government of Sri Lanka and the Exim Bank of China to obtain a loan of nearly $1 billion on the project, and the agreement between Sri Lanka and the Exim Bank was signed on the 22nd of March 2019. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Addressing a media briefing held today at the Temple Trees, parliamentarian Anika Premadasa states that the rule of law in Sri Lanka at present under the current government is considerably in a better situation.
පොලිස්පතිතුමත් ආරක්ෂක ලේකම්තුමාටත් 21 වෙනිදා සිදුවෙච්ච පාස්කු
No one can get away from the accusations of the Easter Sunday attacks by just accusing former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and Inspector General of Police Pujit Jayasundara. So yesterday's decision of the Colombo Chief Magistrate on granting bail for the duo due to not enough grounds to charge them with murder is commendable. The decision showed that any political group or even the executive could not surpass the power of judiciary. For the past 52 days, we saw how the judiciary was triumphant over the executive. We got to know that the Parliamentary Select Committee assigned to probe Easter Sunday attacks is not even formulated via Gazette. The decisions of the committee were not entertained by the judiciary, which is commendable. That is how it should be, and that is how it is in developed countries. Addressing a media briefing held in Colombo today, President of Sri Lanka Freedom Party Youth Front, Shantha Bandara, expressed his opinions on the proposed land bill, which was initially scheduled to be debated in Parliament on Friday. However, as a result of a special party leaders meeting held in Parliament on Monday, it was decided to temporarily suspend the debate as several petitions have been filed before the Supreme Court against the proposed legislation. Thus, Shantha Bandara mentioned that the President's approval along with Cabinet approval is needed to execute the bill, and the SLFP would assist if the land bill solves land-related issues of the general community. SLFP Youth Front leader also mentioned that no political leaders should use public expenditure to boost personal agenda or image. He mentioned that the high cost of Samurdhi granting ceremonies amounting more than 3 billion rupees should be ideally directed to the Samurdhi beneficiaries to uplift their sustenance. He further highlighted that there are at least less than 1,000 people in each district who require basic facilities such as shelter and food, and that the government should ideally distribute these amounts to those communities without extravagant ceremonies. The UAE Sri Lanka Forum, organized by the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, kicked off in Sharjah to promote investment opportunities available in Sri Lanka and share trade-related standpoints between the both sides. Hence, the forum focused on areas of cooperation in trade, investment and tourism, while highlighting the prospects of cooperation and bilateral partnerships in various economic sectors. Addressing the event, SCCI board member Mohammed bin Dimas emphasized that the UAE Sri Lanka Forum is a platform to enhance the investment ties between Sharjah and Sri Lanka in line with the SCCI's strategy. Through the forum, the Chamber seeks to facilitate the business prosperity and strengthen its capabilities by coordinating with government authorities in Sri Lanka, adopting the best economic and developmental practices, increasing the volume of trade and activating the flow of investments, Bin Dimas said. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Development Strategies and International Trade Sri Lanka, Nalin Bandara, expressed his pleasure at Sri Lanka's participation in Expo 2020, stressing that Sri Lanka has a long history of trade with the UAE. The UAE is among the top 10 countries in terms of the trade capacity with Sri Lanka, especially in the real estate and infrastructure sector. And the annual tours from the UAE to Sri Lanka has exceeded 8,500. Let's take a look at few stories for the day in brief. A discussion between tea factory owners and the heads of financial institutions in Sri Lanka was held yesterday under the patronage of Minister of Plantation Industries Navin Dissanayake in order to address the measures for uplifting the tea factories in the country. Subsequently, issues concerning loans and grace periods and many other burgeoning issues related to the subject were discussed. The fourth meeting of the Joint Working Group on Cooperation in Power Sector between India and Sri Lanka was held recently at the Ashok Hotel, New Delhi. The JWG paid attention to the progress on the decisions of the third JWG meeting held in Sri Lanka in 2018 and reviewed the progress of proposed projects on liquefied natural gas to be developed by the joint venture of National Thermal Power Corporation Limited and Ceylon Electricity Board in Keravalapitia and the solar power projects in Sampur, Trincomalee. The fifth JWG is scheduled to be held in 2020 in Colombo, Sri Lanka. The Cabinet of Ministers approved to award the consultancy services contract of Western Province project in the second integrated road investment program funded by the Asian Development Bank to MSSMEC International Private Limited, Sub-Consultant with Resources Development Consultants Private Limited and Master Healy's Engineering Consultants Private Limited. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Minister of Highways and Road Development and Petroleum Resource Development on last Sunday. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all share price index gained 7.43 points to close at 5,521.83 and the S&P SL20 dropped 6.14 points to close at 2,594.6. The turnover was 548 million rupees and over 18 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.